Ladies and gentlemen, there is a path, narrow and treacherous, one that few dare to tread. It's not the easy road, not the road of complacency. It's the road walked by the woman who aligns herself with the divine, who dares to carry the Holy Spirit within her.
Responsibility is a word that carries both weight and meaning, though few truly grasp its depth. It is not merely a duty or an obligation. It is the cornerstone of a meaningful existence. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit does not take this lightly.
She understands that responsibility is not a burden to be avoided, but a challenge to be embraced, a calling that transforms her from someone merely existing to someone truly alive.
To walk with the Holy Spirit is to accept the great and often painful truth that life is not about ease or comfort, but about bearing weight with grace and strength. It is to recognize that suffering is inevitable, that the world is filled with chaos, and that the only real way forward is to take up the responsibility of one's own existence, to carry it, to own it, and through that to find purpose. Because if one does not carry their burden willingly, it will crush them under its weight. There is no escaping responsibility. There is only the choice to embrace it or to be destroyed by the consequences of avoidance.
The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit knows that responsibility is not forced upon her. It is offered to her. It is an invitation to step into something greater, to align herself with divine order rather than be consumed by the disorder of the world. And this is no small thing. Because with great responsibility comes the potential for extraordinary meaning. The more weight she carries, the stronger she becomes, not just in physical endurance, but in character, in wisdom, in spiritual resilience. Yet many people resist this truth. They avoid responsibility in pursuit of comfort, thinking that by shedding their burdens they will find happiness. But comfort is not the highest good. Comfort is deceptive. It lulls people into complacency, into passivity, into a slow decay of the soul. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit knows that true joy, the kind that is unshakable, that is deep and lasting, comes not from escaping hardship, but from overcoming it. To take on responsibility is to make the conscious decision to become more than what one is. It is to rise above mere survival and into significance. It is to understand that responsibility is not a punishment, but a gift, because within responsibility lies the power to shape not only one's own life, but the lives of others. A woman who walks with the Holy Spirit does not live for herself alone. She carries the burdens of those around her, not in a way that makes her a martyr, but in a way that makes her a beacon of strength. She is the one people turn to in times of crisis, not because she is perfect, but because she is willing. And what does willingness mean? It means she does not run from the call to act, even when it is inconvenient, even when it is painful. It means she understands that every moment of avoidance, every time she says, "That is not my problem," she diminishes herself. She knows that refusing responsibility is not freedom, it is slavery to weakness. It is a slow, insidious decline into helplessness, where one's choices no longer matter, where life feels meaningless because it has been stripped of the very thing that gives it depth. But the woman who walks with the Holy Spirit does not live in such a way. She understands that responsibility is the foundation of love. To love truly is to take responsibility for the well-being of another, to shoulder their struggles as if they were one's own. A mother who loves her child does not ignore its cries. She does not say, "Someone else will take care of it." No, she rises, even in exhaustion, even in frustration, because her love is bound to her responsibility. And this applies beyond motherhood. It applies to friendships, to marriages, to communities, to faith. Love without responsibility is empty. It is selfish. It is a hollow shell incapable of enduring hardship. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit knows that responsibility is the path to power. Not power in the sense of domination, but power in the sense of self-mastery. She does not look to others to fix her problems. She does not sit back and complain about the state of the world while doing nothing to change it. No, she takes ownership. She steps forward. She does what is difficult because she knows that difficulty is not an obstacle, it is a force. The fire that burns away weakness and shapes something stronger, something worthy. And yes, responsibility is heavy. There will be days when she feels like the weight is too much to bear. There will be moments when she questions whether it is worth it, whether she has the strength to continue. But the Holy Spirit does not abandon those who walk with it. It is there always in the stillness, in the chaos, in the moments of doubt and triumph alike. It does not remove the burden, but it strengthens the one who carries. This is what separates the weak from the strong, the lost from the found, the ones who drift aimlessly from the ones who walk with purpose. The woman who embraces responsibility walks differently. She walks with dignity, with confidence, with a light that cannot be extinguished. She does not cower before challenges. She meets them head on, not because she does not feel fear, but because she understands that courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to act despite it, and so she does not shrink from the weight of life. She does not pray for an easier path, but for the strength to walk the one she has been given. She does not waste time resenting the burden because she understands that the burden is the making of her. She accepts it, she carries it, and in doing so, she becomes something more than she was before. This is the essence of walking with the Holy Spirit. Not passivity, not weakness, not waiting for divine intervention while avoiding the hard work of transformation. No, it is an active, intentional, disciplined commitment to becoming the kind of person who can bear responsibility without being crushed by it. And so if there is one truth to hold on to, it is this: the weight you carry is not meant to break you. It is meant to shape you. And if you embrace it, if you choose it, you will find that it is not a burden at all, but the very thing that sets you free. Transformation is not something that happens by accident. It does not come to those who sit idly waiting for change to find. It comes to those who are called, and more importantly, to those who answer. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit understands that transformation is not a single event, not a moment of inspiration that suddenly alters everything, but a process, a journey, an ongoing unfolding of who she is meant to become. She does not resist this call, though it may terrify her. She does not turn away, though it may demand everything she has. She knows that to walk with the Spirit is to walk toward transformation, and transformation is never comfortable. There is a moment in every life when something shifts. Sometimes it is a whisper, sometimes a violent upheaval, but it always carries the same message. You cannot stay where you are. This is the moment when the Holy Spirit speaks, not in the way the world expects, not in the form of ease or immediate clarity, but in the form of a challenge. It says, you were not made to remain small. You were not made to linger in complacency. You were made to grow, and growth is painful. It means stepping into the unknown, leaving behind what is familiar, and allowing oneself to be reshaped by something greater. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit understands that transformation often begins in suffering. It is the loss, the betrayal, the heartbreak that breaks her open, forcing her to see herself as she truly is. It is the moment of complete vulnerability, when she realizes that what she has built her life upon may not be enough, that the identity she clings to is small, that the way she has lived is not aligned with who she was meant to be. And it is here in the raw, aching space of uncertainty that the Spirit calls her forward. But here is the difficult truth. Transformation is a choice. No one is forced to grow. No one is dragged toward their purpose kicking and screaming. People are given the opportunity to change, but many turn away because transformation demands sacrifice. It demands the death of old ways, old beliefs, old comfort. It demands that she let go of the version of herself that is no longer serving her. And that is terrifying, because even pain can be familiar. Even dysfunction can feel like home. Yet the woman who walks with the Spirit does not stay in the past. She does not cling to what is broken simply because it is familiar. She takes the step, trembling but determined, into the unknown. She chooses faith over fear, not because she does not feel afraid, but because she knows that fear is not a reason to stop. It is a sign that she is stepping into something bigger than herself. Transformation does not happen overnight. It is slow, sometimes painfully so. There are days when it feels like nothing is changing, like she is still trapped in the same patterns, still making the same mistakes. But the Spirit does not rush the process. It works in the depths.
in the unseen places, in the small decisions that seem insignificant but shaping everything. Every act of discipline, every moment of surrender, every time she chooses to keep going when it would be easier to turn back. These are the building blocks of her transformation. And make no mistake, the old self does not die easily. The world does not celebrate change.
There will be people who do not understand, who mock, who try to pull her back into the person she used to be. Not everyone will be happy when she begins to walk with the Holy Spirit, because her transformation will expose their unwillingness to change. Her growth will be a mirror to those who have chosen comfort over purpose, and some will despise her for it. But she does not walk this path for their approval. She walks it because she has been called to something greater. She walks it because she refuses to live a life dictated by fear and mediocrity. She walks it because she knows that deep, lasting joy comes only to those who are willing to do the hard work of becoming who they were meant to be. She will stumble, she will fall, she will doubt. But the Holy Spirit does not leave those who walk with it. It does not abandon those who seek truth. It is there in the silence, in the waiting, in the moments when everything feels like it is falling apart. Because sometimes things must fall apart before they can be rebuilt. Sometimes the breaking is necessary for the rebuilding. The woman who embraces transformation does not merely change, she is reborn. She does not simply improve, she is made. And when she looks back, she will see that the pain was not wasted. The struggle was not meaningless. The journey was not in vain. Every hardship was shaping her. Every trial was refining her. Every challenge was carving away what was false, revealing what was true. And when she reaches that place, when she stands in the fullness of who she has become, she will know that it was worth it. She will see that the suffering was not the end, but the beginning. That the fire did not consume her, but purified her. That the call to transformation was not a curse, but the greatest gift she could have ever received. This is what it means to walk with the Holy Spirit, to answer the call, to embrace the cross. To step to the unknown and trust that something greater is leading the way. And in doing so, to become the woman she was always meant to be. Life is a constant battle between chaos and order. From the very moment a person is born, they are thrust into a world that is both structured and unpredictable. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit understands that her journey is not about avoiding chaos entirely or clinging desperately to rigid order, but about learning how to navigate the tension between the two. She does not seek a life of pure control, nor does she surrender to disorder. Instead, she learns to walk the fine line to exist in a space where she is balanced, where she can engage with the unknown without being consumed by it. Chaos represents everything that is uncertain, everything that is unpredictable, everything that threatens to overwhelm. It is the suffering that appears out of nowhere, the heartbreak that shatters expectations, the loss that was never planned. It is also temptation, the lure of distractions, the pull toward self-destruction, the seductive voice that says, you just let go, stop trying, give in. Chaos is what happens when life becomes unmanageable, when direction is lost, when meaning starts to fade. It is the darkness that lurks at the edges of existence, waiting for an opportunity to take over. Order, on the other hand, is structure. It is discipline, routine, stability. It is the framework that holds everything together, the foundation that allows growth to happen. Without order, there is no progress, no direction. It is what gives meaning to suffering, what provides a path forward. Order is waking up every morning with purpose. It is commitment, integrity, responsibility. It is choosing to do what is right, even when it is difficult. It is setting boundaries, creating stability, building something that will last. But order can also become rigid, suffocating, limiting. It can turn into rules without meaning, traditions without understanding. It can stifle creativity, crush freedom, and prevent growth. When order becomes too extreme, to a desperate attempt to force life into a predictable pattern, and life does not work that way. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit knows this. She understands that order alone is not enough. That structure without flexibility becomes a prison. She knows that to truly live, to truly grow, she must learn how to move between chaos and order, to find the balance where both can exist together. Walking with the Holy Spirit does not mean eliminating chaos from life. That is impossible. It means learning how to face it without being destroyed by it. It means stepping into the unknown with faith, knowing that even in the midst of disorder, there is guidance, there is strength, there is purpose. It means refusing to be paralyzed by fear, refusing to be swallowed by uncertainty. It means understanding that chaos is not the enemy. It is a teacher, a force that challenges, that pushes, that forces growth. But it also means not surrendering to chaos. It means not allowing the unpredictability of life to dictate actions, to control emotion, to determine identity. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit does not let suffering define her. She does not allow the unknown to paralyze her. She does not let temptation pull her away from what she knows is right. Instead, she takes what is chaotic and brings it into order. She takes the suffering and transforms it into wisdom. She takes the uncertainty and turns it into faith. She does not run from the battle. She steps into it, knowing that this is the path of strength, the path of transformation, and yet she does not try to control everything. She does not hold on too tightly, does not demand that life always be predictable. She understands that faith requires surrender. That trust means accepting that some things will never be fully understood. She does not resist change simply because it is unfamiliar. She does not cling to comfort when growth is calling her forward. She knows that there is a difference between stability and stagnation, between structure and restriction. And so she walks the line, learning when to hold firm and when to let go, when to build and when to allow life to reshape her. There will be times when chaos threatens to overwhelm. Times when everything that was once stable begins to crumble. Times when suffering feels unbearable, when the weight of the unknown becomes too heavy to carry. But the woman who walks with the Holy Spirit does not collapse under that weight. She does not retreat. She does not give in to despair, because she knows that she is not walking alone. She knows that there is a force greater than herself, a presence that guides, that strengthens, that sustains. She knows that even in the middle of the storm, there is order beneath the surface. But even when life seems to be falling apart, there is a deeper purpose unfolding. That chaos is not the final reality, but a temporary force. Something that can be shaped, transformed, turned into something meaningful. She knows that the Holy Spirit does not promise a life without storm, but it does promise the strength to stand. She faces the unknown with courage. She embraces the balance of discipline and faith, of action and surrender. She understands that life is not about eliminating struggle, but about learning how to walk through with grace, with wisdom, with unwavering faith. This is what it means to walk with the Holy Spirit. Not to live a life free from chaos, but to live a life where chaos does not win. To build order without becoming rigid. To embrace the unknown without losing direction. To stand firm in faith, knowing that no matter what comes, she will not be shaken. She will not be broken. She will not be lost. Because she knows who walks beside her. Faith is not a passive belief. It is not a fragile, wishful thinking that bends at the first sign of trouble. It is not a fleeting emotion that comes and goes depending on circumstances. Faith, real faith, is a foundation. It is an unshakable trust, a deep-rooted certainty that stands firm even when everything else falls apart. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit understands this. She knows that faith is not about feeling good all the time. It is about standing strong even when the world around her is in chaos. Faith is not the absence of doubt. Doubt will come, fear will come. There will be moments when everything seems uncertain, when it feels as if God is silent, when prayers seem to go unanswered. There will be days of suffering, of heartbreak, of loss. Faith is not the guarantee that pain will never touch her. It is the assurance that no pain can destroy her. It is the deep knowing that even when she cannot see the way forward, even when everything feels dark, she is still held. still guided, still known. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit understands that faith is a choice.
It is a decision she makes every day and every moment, to trust rather than to fear, to believe rather than to despair. And that choice is not always easy. It is not always comfortable. Sometimes faith means stepping into the unknown with no clear answers. It means taking a risk, following a calling that makes no logical sense, believing in a promise that has not yet been fulfilled. Faith requires endurance. It is not something that grows overnight. It is not something that appears instantly in moments of crisis. It is built over time, strengthened through trials, tested through suffering. Just as a muscle grows stronger through resistance, faith grows stronger through challenge. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit does not shy away from difficulty, because she understands that every hardship is an opportunity for faith to deepen. Every struggle is a chance to trust more, to rely more fully on the one who guides her steps. There will be moments when the weight of life feels unbearable, when the road ahead is unclear, when fear whispers that she is alone, that she is not strong enough, that she will not make it through. But the woman who walks with the Holy Spirit does not listen to that voice. She does not let fear dictate her path. She does not allow uncertainty to paralyze her. She stands in faith, knowing that she is never truly alone. That even when she cannot see, even when she does not understand, she is still being led. And this is not a blind faith. It is not an empty hope. It is a faith grounded in experience, in truth, in a deep understanding of who God is. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit does not place her trust in things that can fade, in people who can fail, in circumstances that can change. She places her trust in the one who is unchanging, unwavering, eternal. She has seen his faithfulness before, and she knows she will see it again. Faith is not passive. It requires movement. It requires action. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit does not simply wait for life to happen to her. She steps forward in faith, even when she does not have all the answers. She does not wait for fear to subside before she acts. She acts despite her fear. She understands that faith without action is not faith at all. It is merely a wish. True faith is stepping out of the boat, walking on the water, trusting that even if she begins to sink car. Faith is also not about perfection. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit knows that she will stumble. She will have moments of weakness, moments of questioning, moments of exhaustion. But faith does not require perfection. It requires persistence. It is not about never falling. It is about always getting back up, always returning, always choosing to trust again and again. And faith is not only about her. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit knows that her faith is not just for her own benefit. It is a light for others. It is a source of strength for those who are struggling. Her unwavering trust in God is not just about her own journey. It is about leading, about guiding, about showing others that there is hope, that there is a way through the storm, because faith is contagious. When others see someone who stands firm in the face of trials, who refuses to be shaken, who continues to trust even when everything looks impossible, they are inspired. They are strengthened. They begin to believe that maybe they too are not alone. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit understands that faith is not just something she holds privately. It is something that shapes how she lives, how she speaks, how she loves. It is in the way she treats people, the way she shows kindness, the way she forgives, the way she serves. It is not just in the words she prays, but in the life she lives. Faith is strength. Faith is strength. Faith is the decision to trust, to believe, to keep walking forward, even when the path is uncertain. And the woman who walks with the Holy Spirit does not waver in that decision. She knows that she does not need to have all the answers, because she knows the one who does. She does not need to see every step of the journey before she begins, because she knows she is not walking alone. She stands firm. She moves forward. She keeps believing. And because of that, no storm can break her. No trial can defeat her. No darkness can overcome her. Because she is not standing on shifting sanding on a foundation that cannot be moved. Love is the most powerful force in existence. It is not merely an emotion. not just a fleeting feeling that comes and goes depending on circumstances. It is a commitment, an act of the will, a way of being that transcends temporary.
The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit understands that love is not just something she receives, it is something she becomes. She does not love because it is easy. She does not love because others deserve it.
She loves because she has been called to love, because she has been shown love herself, because love is the essence of who she is meant to be. Love is not weak. It is not passive. It is not a simple sentimental thing. This only in comfort. Love is strength. Love is power. Strength. Love is power.
Love is what allows her to face pain and not turn bitter, to encounter betrayal and not become hard. Love is what transforms suffering into wisdom, anger into understanding, division into unity. Love is not merely about receiving, it is about giving even when it is difficult. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit understands that love is not just for those who are easy to love. It is for those who are difficult, those who have hurt her, those who do not deserve.
This is where love becomes truly powerful. When it is given not out of obligation, not out of convenience, but out of a deep, unwavering commitment to something greater than herself. She loves not because the world tells her to, not because it is expected, but because it is who she is.
But this does not mean she is naive. She does not confuse love with weakness, does not allow others to take advantage of her kindness. She understands that real love has boundaries, that it requires both mercy and justice, both grace and truth. She does not allow people to mistreat her in the name of love, because she knows that love does not enable harm. Love is strong enough to say no when necessary, strong enough to walk away when the situation is destructive, strong enough to hold people accountable while still offering forgiveness. And love is not just about other people, it is also about herself. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit knows that she cannot truly love others if she does not first understand how deeply she is loved. She does not live in self-hatred, does not diminish her own worth, does not let guilt and shame consume her. She walks in the knowledge that she is loved beyond measure, that she has been created with purpose, that she is valuable not because of what she does, who she is. And from this place of knowing, she is able to extend love to others, not from a place of emptiness, but from a heart that is full. Love is action. It is not simply words. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit does not just say she loves, she shows it. She serves, she sacrifices, she gives without expecting anything in return. She is patient when others are impatient. She is kind when the world is cruel. She chooses forgiveness when revenge would be easier. She does not wait for love to be convenient. She chooses to love even when it is costly. This love transforms everything it touches. It changes relationships. It heals wounds. It breaks down walls that seemed unbreakable. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit knows that love is the only thing that can truly change people. Not force, not manipulation, not anger, but love. It is love that softens hearts. Love that turns enemies into friends. Love that brings light into the darkest places. But love is not always easy. There will be moments when it feels impossible, when everything in her wants to shut down, to protect herself, to stop caring. There will be moments when love feels like a risk, when it seems safer to hold back, to build walls instead of bridges. She chooses love anyway. Not because it is easy, but because it is right. Because she knows that love is not a feeling to be waited for. It is a decision to be made. And in choosing love, she finds freedom. She is not controlled by resentment, not imprisoned by bitterness. She does not waste her energy holding on to grudges, does not let the wounds of the past dictate her future. She is free because she has chosen to love, because she has refused to let the world make her cold. She understands that love is not just something she gives, it is something she is. It is woven into her very being, guiding every step, shaping every word, defining every action. This love is not ordinary. It is not something that the world fully understands. It is a love that comes from something greater, a love that is rooted in eternity, a love that is unbreakable, unshakable, unstoppable. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit does not rely on her own strength to love. She draws from a source far beyond herself. She knows that on her own she is limited. that there will be times when she feels like she has nothing left to give. But she is not on her own. She is connected to the one who is love, the one who fills her, renews her, strengthens her. And because of this, she does not run out, she does not grow weary, she does not lose hope. The more she loves, the more she is filled. The more she gives, the more she receives. This is the paradox of love. It is not something that is diminished when it is shared. It is multiplied, it grows, it expands, it changes everything. And in the end, when all else fades, when accomplishments and possessions and status no longer matter, it is love that remains. It is love that defines a life well lived. It is love that echoes into eternity. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit understands this, and so she loves with everything she has, holding nothing back, knowing that in the end, love is the only thing that truly matters. Wisdom is more than knowledge. It is deeper than intelligence, broader than experience, and more powerful than mere information. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit understands this truth. She knows that wisdom is not simply about acquiring facts, mastering skills, or collecting achievement. True wisdom is about discernment, about seeing beyond the surface, about understanding the deeper realities of life. It is not just knowing what to do, but knowing why it must be done and how to do it in a way that aligns with truth and goodness. Wisdom is built over time. It is not an instant gift, but a lifelong pursuit. It is forged through trials, through challenges, through mistakes and reflection. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit does not assume that she already knows. She remains humble, always seeking to grow, always learning, always willing to be corrected. She understands that wisdom is not the same as arrogance. A fool believes they have all the answers, but a wise person understands that they will never stop learning. Wisdom requires patience. Oh, you are fully her. It does not always offer immediate answers, nor does it always provide quick solutions. It asks for trust, for endurance, for the willingness to wait for the right moment. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit knows that sometimes the best decision is to pause, to reflect, to seek guidance before acting. She does not rush into choices blindly. She listens to others, to the world around her, and most importantly, to the quiet voice within her spirit. She does not react impulsively, but responds thoughtfully, allowing wisdom to shape her decisions. But wisdom is not just about thinking, it is about action. Knowing the right thing is meaningless unless it is followed by doing the right thing. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit understands that wisdom is not passive. It requires courage, because wisdom often demands choices that are difficult, that are unpopular, that go against what is easy or comfortable. She does not just seek wisdom for the sake of knowing. She seeks wisdom so that she may live rightly, so that she may walk in truth, so that she may make decisions that align with what is good and just. Wisdom is also deeply connected to integrity. It is not just about being smart or strategic. It is about being honest, about aligning one's life with deeper principles. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit understands that true wisdom is never manipulative, never deceptive, never used for selfish gain. It is not about outsmarting others, controlling situations, or getting ahead at the expense of what is right. True wisdom is rooted in character. It is about living in a way that is consistent with truth, even when no one is watching, even when it costs us something. And wisdom is not just for herself. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit understands that wisdom is meant to be shared. It is not something to be hoarded, kept secret, or used for personal advantage. Wisdom is meant to be given freely to guide others, to lift others up, to help those who are lost find their way. She does not use her wisdom to make herself seem superior. She uses it to serve, to teach, to help others avoid the mistakes she has learned from. But she also understands that not everyone will listen. Wisdom is a gift, but not all will accept it. Some will reject it, some will mock it, some will prefer the comfort of ignorance over the challenge of truth. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit does not force wisdom upon those who are unwilling to receive it. She knows that sometimes the wisest thing to do is to remain silent, to allow others to learn in their own time, to let experience be their teacher when words are not enough. Wisdom is also knowing the difference between what can be changed and what must be accepted. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit understands that there are battles worth fighting, and there are moments where surrender is the wiser choice. She does not waste her energy trying to control what is beyond her power. She does not resist what must be embraced.
She understands that wisdom means letting go of what cannot be changed and focusing on what can. And wisdom is deeply tied to faith. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit knows that true wisdom does not come solely from human understanding, but from something greater. She seeks wisdom not just from books, not just from experience, but from divine guidance. She prays for wisdom, knowing that the one who created all things is the ultimate source of understanding. She trusts that even when she does not see the full picture, even when life is uncertain, even when answers seem unclear, she is being led by a wisdom far greater than her own. This kind of wisdom brings peace. It removes fear because it provides clarity.
It removes anxiety because it offers direction. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit is not easily shaken because she is grounded in wisdom. She does not make decisions based on emotions alone, nor does she allow circumstances to dictate her choice. She walks with confidence, knowing that she has sought the best path, that she has listened rightly. But wisdom also brings responsibility. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit knows that the more she understands, the more she is accountable for. Wisdom is not just a gift. It is a call to action, a duty to live rightly, to speak truth, to stand firm in what is just. She does not take wisdom lightly. She does not use it for selfish purposes. She understands that wisdom comes with the obligation to do what is right, even when it is hard.
And because of this, she is strong. She is not easily deceived, not easily swayed by the opinions of others, not easily led astray. She is anchored in something deeper, something unshakable. She does not chase after empty distractions, does not waste time on what is meaningless, does not allow herself to be caught up in foolishness. She walks with purpose, with clarity, with the confidence that she is being led by something greater than herself. In the end, wisdom is not just about making good choices. It is about living a life that is full, that is meaningful, that is aligned with what is true and right.
The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit seeks wisdom not for her own gain, but so that she may walk in light, so that she may be a guide to others, so that she may fulfill the purpose she was created for. And because of this, her life is not wasted. It is not aimless. It is not shallow.
It is deep, rich, full of meaning, and in that she finds true fulfillment. Strength is often misunderstood. Many believe it is about physical power, dominance, or the ability to impose one's will on others. But true strength is something far deeper. It is not about control, it is about endurance.
It is not about intimidation. It is about resilience. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit understands this distinction. She knows that real strength is not found in force, but in the ability to stand firm when everything around her is shaking.
It is not about never facing struggles. It is about never letting those struggles break her. True strength is quiet. It does not need to announce itself. It does not seek attention.
The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit does not flaunt her strength, nor does she feel the need to prove herself to anyone. She carries her strength with grace, knowing that it is not for display, but for endurance. Strength is the ability to keep going, even when the road is long and difficult.
It is the ability to bear burdens without becoming bitter, to face hardship without losing hope, to carry responsibility without being crushed by it. Strength is not about being unbreakable. It is not about being unaffected by pain.
The strongest people are not those who feel nothing, but those who feel deeply and still move forward. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit knows that there will be moments of sorrow, of disappointment, of exhaustion. She does not deny her emotions, nor does she pretend to be unaffected by hardship. But she does not let those emotions control her. She does not allow fear to dictate her choices, nor does she allow discouragement to define her future. Strength is not found in isolation. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit understands that she does not have to carry everything alone. She knows that her strength does not come from herself alone, but from something greater. She draws from a source that never runs dry, from a power that is beyond human limitation.
She knows that trying to be strong on her own will eventually lead to exhaustion, but relying on the strength of the Spirit will sustain her. She does not pretend to be self-sufficient. She embraces the fact that she is being held, that she is being carried, that she does not have to fight her battles alone. Strength is in perseverance. It is the ability to keep walking, even when the path is uncertain, even when the destination is unclear. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit understands that life will not always be easy. There will be seasons of hardship, of waiting, of struggle, but she does not give up. She does not abandon hope when things do not go as planned. She does not allow setbacks to define her. She presses on, knowing that every challenge is an opportunity to grow, that every obstacle is a chance to build endurance, that every difficulty is shaping her into something stronger, and strength is found in character. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit knows that true strength is not about what she can achieve, but about who she is becoming. It is found in integrity, in kindness, in the ability to stand firm in her values, even when the world pressures her to compromise. She does not seek validation from others. She does not need approval to know her worth. She stands confidently in who she is, knowing that her strength is not measured by external success, but by the depth of her character. Strength is also in gentleness. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit understands that being strong does not mean being hard. She does not confuse strength with hardness, nor does she believe that she must be cold or distant to protect herself. She is strong enough to be kind, strong enough to be compassionate, strong enough to love even when love is difficult. She knows that true strength is not found in the ability to overpower, but in the ability to lift others up. But strength is also in knowing when to rest. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit does not push herself to the point of collapse. She understands that even the strongest warriors need moments of renewal, that even the most resilient hearts need time to heal. She does not mistake exhaustion for endurance, nor does she believe that she must always be doing something to prove her worth. She knows that strength is also in knowing when to be still, when to pause, when to allow herself to be renewed. Strength is in trust. It is in surrender. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit understands that her greatest strength is not in controlling everything, but in releasing what is beyond her power. She does not carry burdens she was never meant to carry. She does not try to fix everything on her own. She trusts that she is being guided, that she is being held, that she is being led even when she does not see the full picture. And in that trust, she finds freedom. And ultimately, strength is in love. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit knows that love is the greatest strength of all. It takes strength to forgive when it would be easier to hold a grudge. It takes strength to be patient when everything inside her wants to rush ahead. It takes strength to believe in people when they have failed her before. Love requires more strength than anger, more endurance than bitterness, more resilience than resentment. And so she chooses love again and again, knowing that in the end, love is what will endure. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit is not strong because she has never been wounded. She is strong because she has healed. She is not strong because life has been easy for her. She is strong because she has faced hardship and grown from it. She is not strong because she never feels weak. She is strong because she knows where to turn when she does. Her strength is not found in the absence of struggle, but in her ability to rise despite it. And because of this, no storm can break her, no challenge can defeat her, no darkness can overcome her. She is unshaken because her strength is not her own. It is rooted in something eternal. Legacy is not just what you leave behind, it is the impact you have while you are still here. It is the mark you make on the lives of others, the lessons you teach, the love you give, the example you set. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit understands that legacy is not about fame or recognition, not about wealth or status, not about external achievements that fade with time. True legacy is found in the lives you touch, in the hearts you shape, in the influence you carry long after you are gone. It is the echo of your actions, the ripple effect of your choices, the story you write through the way you live. Legacy is not something you create at the end of your life. It is something you build every woman who walks with the Holy Spirit.
understands that every decision she makes, every word she speaks, every act of kindness she gives is part of the foundation of the legacy she is leaving behind. She does not wait for some distant moment in the future to start living with purpose. She knows that the time to build a meaningful life is now, in the small choices, in the everyday interactions, in the moments that seem insignificant but are shaping something far greater than she can see. A true legacy is not about what you accomplish, it is about who you are. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit knows that her value is not measured by her achievements, but by her character. She understands that people may forget what she did, but they will never forget how she made them feel. They will remember the kindness in her eye, the warmth in her presence, the strength in her spirit. She does not chase after temporary success. She invests in what is eternal. She does not seek to build an empire for herself. She seeks to build people, to uplift, to encourage, to inspire. Legacy is found in the wisdom she passes down. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit knows that her knowledge is not meant to be kept to herself. She shares her experiences, her insights, her lessons, not to gain praise, but to help others grow. She is a mentor, a guide, a source of light for those who are searching. She does not hold wisdom as if it were hers alone. She pours it out. She pours it out knowing that her words have the power to shape generations. She understands that her impact is not limited to her own life. It extends to the people she teaches, to the lives she influences, to the seeds she plants that will grow long after she is gone. But legacy is also built in the way she loves. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit understands that love is the most lasting gift she can give. It is love that will be remembered when everything else fades. It is love that will shape the lives of those who come after her. She loves with a heart that is generous, a heart that does not hold back, a heart that gives freely without expecting anything in return. She does not love based on convenience. She loves with commitment. She does not love only when it is easy. She loves even when it is hard. And this love is not just for those closest to her. It extends outward, touching everyone she encounters. Her legacy is in the way she lifts others up. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit does not seek to elevate herself at the expense of others. She understands that true greatness is found in serving, in giving and helping others rise. She finds joy in encouraging, in strengthening and seeing people become who they were meant to be. She does not live for herself alone. She lives to make a difference, to be a source of hope, to be a reflection of something greater than herself. And she knows that legacy is not about perfection. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit is not trying to create an image of flawlessness. She understands that her struggles, her failures, her moments of weakness are also part of her story. She does not hide them. She uses them to teach, to relate, to show others the strength is not found in never falling, but in rising again. She is honest about her journey, about her challenges, about the lessons she has learned along the way. And in this honesty, she gives others permission to embrace their own journeys, to learn from their own struggles, to grow through their own hardships. Legacy is found in faith. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit knows that the most powerful thing she can leave behind is a life of unwavering trust, of deep faith, of steadfast devotion to something greater than herself. She understands that people will not just remember what she believed. They will remember how she lived out those beliefs. She does not simply speak of faith. She walks in it. She does not just talk about hope. She embodies it. She does not merely teach truth. She lives it. And in the end, her legacy is not about the things she owned, the title she held, or the recognition she received. It is about the love she gave, the lives she changed, the impact she had. It is about the way she lived with purpose, with conviction, with a heart that was open, with hands that were willing to serve, with a spirit that was unshaken. She leaves behind more than memories. She leaves behind a path for others to follow, an example that continues to inspire, a light that continues to shine even after she is gone. Her legacy is not written in stone, strewn in the hearts of those she touched. It is not confined to one generation. It ripples through time, carried forward in the lives she influenced, and because she walked with the Holy Spirit, because she lived with faith, because she chose love, her legacy does not fade. It endures, it grows. It continues long after she has taken her final step.
And that is the greatest legacy of all. The woman who walks with the Holy Spirit is not ordinary. She's a force of wisdom, strength, love, and faith.
She does not simply exist. She lives with purpose, walking in truth, embracing her calling, an indelible mark on the world around her. She understands that life is not about fleeting success, but about enduring impact. She knows that true power is not found in dominance, but in faith. That real wisdom is not about knowledge, but about discernment. That genuine strength is not about being unbreakable, but about rising after every fall. She does not waver in the face of hardship. She does not crumble under the weight of challenges. She knows who she is, and she knows who she is. She walks not by sight, but by faith, trusting in a greater purpose, believing in a plan beyond what she can see. Her strength is not her own. It is drawn from the infinite well of divine wisdom.
Her courage is not dependent on circumstance. It is rooted in a truth that does not change. And because of this, she builds a legacy that cannot be erased. Her influence extends beyond her years. Her love outlives her present. Her faith lights the path.
She does not leave behind only memories. She leaves behind transformed lives. She walks with the Holy Spirit, and because of that, she walks with power. She walks with power. Cannot. Her life is a testament to something greater. She does not seek recognition, yet she is remembered. She does not chase after status, yet she is honored. She does not fear the future, for she knows that her steps are guided. She has walked in wisdom. She has endured with strength. She has left deeply. She has left an unshakable legacy.
And when her time on earth is complete, she does not fade into obscurity. She steps into eternity, welcomed into the arms of the one who walked with her every step of the way.